pretty cool. Okay. Hi everyone, welcome to my first show. So I'm a hospitality professional and a life coach. And after losing my job and searching for work for 2 months, which is shocking because I've been working for 19 years. So this is my first, I would say, possibly free time. I realize I'm not the only person waiting for their next exciting adventure because I don't see it as unemployment. I see it as what's next, why did this happen, and possibly how can I use this time wisely? And that only happened after a week of this is not the. So this led me to this idea of having and getting advice from people after searching on LinkedIn and platforms for different people. But instead of only having the advice for myself, I thought, why don't I share it with other people? Other people that will also need the advice but are shy and not in a space to ask 50 questions to everyone they see. So what happens, and this is when I came across Shifaan Ryklief-We, my guest, who I'll now introduce, profile on LinkedIn. What got me hooked is when his message said, I was unemployed for 5 months. And at the bottom was a different caption. And so I read the entire process of what he did. And the gist of it is, for 5 months he was unemployed. You know what happens when you apply, everybody, you get rejected. And those constant rejected emails demotivate you slowly and slowly. So 5% each time goes low. And I thought, okay, let me read further. And then what he did was he went into his own community, which is Mitchell's Plain, and then decided to take his passion and his talent, and he can explain more of that, into the community while helping himself to help them also get out there. Now, I've never thought of this because all I thought about was at least apply for 15 to 20 jobs a day, sit and wait for them to reply, and then move on and do that every day. So this was fascinating for me, and I had to have Shifaan as my first guest. Um, because I think there's so much that we can learn in terms of what we've been awarded by God to do on our earth and our purpose, and then actually doing it through the fears. So, Shifaan, welcome. Welcome to my first recording. I thank you so much. Do you want to just give us a little intro about yourself and maybe on what I said?
Okay. Yeah, Shukran for having me as your first guest. The pressure's on. But yeah. So for myself, my background I won't go too much into, but I come from a single mom home, three boys. Didn't have much, so most of the time when we wanted something, we had to go out and get it. We had no other option,
Yeah,
and that tied in nicely with finding a job.
yeah,
There was no other option for me. I had to figure out something else. Yeah, so most of my career was is a similar story. It's kind of a repeat of the previous story. So that story that you heard was one
wow,
of a few similar stories.
okay,
So yeah, so the first story was when I got into IT.
okay.
So I was working at the movies and they had no certification, no qualification, whatever. And I met somebody, same like I met you on LinkedIn, just randomly. Met somebody gave me opportunity to work during night shifts at Clicks. And while I was working night shifts, my colleagues they were sleeping because
Yeah,
you have certain things that you need to do.
yeah.
Once you're done, then you have the rest of the night, so you can either sleep or you can watch movies.
Mm,
So I opted to go on the internet and teach myself to code. So I taught myself to code while my colleagues were sleeping. And through that, I was upskilling myself. And then, on my off days, I would come into work, or on my break times, I would go upstairs. I would go see the rest of the IT department, what's all happening here, because I had no idea. I never went to tertiary school. So I went upstairs. I said, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Like, oh, okay. I like what you're doing. So every time when I come sit by you, he said, okay, it's okay. And I'd bring my notebook. I would sit. I'd make notes every day. And over time, I built a kind of relationship with these guys.
yes,
Yeah, and then on the side, because I'm asking the questions, what do you do? How do I do it? So then I would go back on my night shift and I would learn to do the thing that they were doing. And
wow.
through that, I upscaled myself to code, and I ended up becoming a programmer and working as a programmer. And eventually, I moved companies from Clicks, All Mutual, at Checkers, became a data warehouse, big data analyst. So that was another story, just of you don't need much, you just need to go and get it. It's all there. And
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
You
But
know
to
what's
tie it in
amazing?
with
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, to tie it in with the 6 month with the retrenchment. So I was at ESPN. So I wasn't in IT anymore. I made the career change. I was at ESPN. We got retrenched. I was looking for work. I thought, hey, I'm at ESPN. That looks good on my CV. I can get a job anyway. And I couldn't get a job anyway. I was for 6 months, but within that 6 months, I was like everybody else sending my CV out to recruiters, to LinkedIn, all that easy apply. I was doing the whole thing. Nothing was working. And yeah, I just thought, okay, so what do I do while I'm sitting here doing nothing? And I thought, okay, I have skills. I have video editing. I can shoot video. I can tell stories. Those are the three things that I can do. So how can I do that for other people? Because maybe I can help someone else. Maybe I can help another company and gain experience. I'm not sitting there doing absolutely nothing and getting picking up dust. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how I started my journey. I'm just getting more involved in my community, telling the stories of the people in my community, and like there's a lot of stories. Yeah, and yeah, and then just building on that. So I created my own kind of Facebook page, putting the stories out there, and through putting the stories out there and creating value for other people, yeah, my work got noticed, and eventually I got a call for a job.
Wow. Like,
Yeah.
like Shikran for sharing that because in between your story and what's fascinating when people tell their story, we as the audience, we just hear this happened, that happened, and then I got this. But if you just break it up, there was time that you had to take when at Clicks and go look for those mentors and sit with them. And that was a period. It's not that it happened overnight. And then after that, when you sat with him, you had to obviously take the notes, absorb, and put in that effort.
Mm. You breaking up a bit there? You breaking
Oh,
up
it's
a bit.
me. I thought it was you. Is it good
Okay.
now?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Both sides. Both sides.
So what I was saying is, I always like to appreciate the story. So you're sharing the story, and what I want people to hear and understand, because this is what they struggle with. When you and I talk about our journey or anybody, we talk about, so we got the job and then we did this and then we lost the job. And when you listen to it, it just sounds like it. But in between those times when you had to go and you had to sit with a mentor, there was a period where you had to work night shift, sit with a mentor, put in effort. There was a period where it was like scary, is this gonna happen? That 5 months of not having work, it was like a whole period. So what did you do with the fear in that period of not being good enough, that fear that we all have of being unemployed and searching for work and juggling that with, but I can also do something else?
Yeah. So basically, your question boils down to the fear of not being good enough.
Mm, yeah.
Okay. So I think like there's this thing called imposter syndrome.
Yes, I've heard of it.
Yeah. So you are good enough, but you just feel and you fear that you're not good enough. You fear what are people going to say about me, or I don't have enough experience, or this or that. And yeah, then I guess that is just something, a mental hurdle that you just have to walk through. You have to walk that road. You have to go down that road, and you have to just face that fear. That's the old-fashioned way. Go down, do the thing, and you will come out on the other side.
Yeah,
And a more practical way for me was because I'm in social media, because I'm in content creation. So for me, it was just creating content, putting it out there,
yeah,
and getting immediate feedback. So that's the beauty of what we have right now, social media. You
yeah,
can put your work out there, and people will tell you immediately that is crap, that is shit, or that is good. And the more times you hear that is good, now you feel motivated. Okay, I'm doing good. Okay, how can I improve? And so for me, the feedback loop was quick. I put my video out on social media. I get like 50,000 views. I'm like, okay, they like that. Do more of that,
yeah,
and that was where I would overcome the fear. And yeah, of course, there be people saying, "Oh, bad stuff," but I mean, if you have like 100 people saying good stuff, like what is the one or two people that's saying something bad? What does that mean? That means nothing to me. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I guess also our journeys from when we are younger, that plays a big role on fear and how we handle fear. And so I had a not an easy journey
Mm.
growing up. So to be super honest, like I don't fear much
Okay.
when putting myself out there
Okay.
because I was at quite lows. So I don't think that I can get lower than where I was. So
Yeah.
everything is just uphill for me. Yeah. So that does play to my advantage. So I understand that that is my advantage. I understand that that is my strength. I understand that the fear barrier is quite low for me. I will go for it, even if it's scary. I'm still gonna go, and I don't care who's gonna say what. And that is just my skills, my advantage, and everybody has their own advantage. Someone
Mm.
might be more confident, so I lack in the confidence side. So again, so that's where I work. You see, so the fear thing, it's a nice thing, and I enjoy it actually. I enjoy being in a tough situation. It brings out the best in me. So
Yeah.
it worked in my favor.
Wow. I almost don't want to say anything because that was such a perfect answer. And what I got from it, just to decipher it, is we all have our own strengths. And to concentrate on that strength is important because parts of it's going to be comfortable. The confidence is uncomfortable for you, for example.
Mm,
Me not getting everything easy because I'm used to things coming to me and having to go and get it and put myself
mm,
out there in this journey. That's the uncomfortable
mm,
part. I'm confident,
mm,
but every time I get a fear, I have to be convincing to myself that beyond that fear, there's something better. So I think what
mm.
a nice lesson for everyone is while we're on this journey, let's focus on what our strength is, hone in on that, and like everything else will come with it because we're putting in that effort. Is that what you're sort of
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah. And obviously, it's a difficult situation, uncomfortable situation. But the hardest situation is the time where we're actually learning about ourselves.
Yeah,
So during these periods, like I didn't go into that situation thinking, oh, I don't fear anything. No, I'm in that situation. As I'm going through it, I realize, but I'm not afraid.
mm,
And I need to work on my confidence. So I learned that about myself. So these like obstacles or hurdles is an opportunity to learn more about yourself. And when you know more about yourself, you can put yourself more out there and you can push yourself more. You know where you can push.
yeah.
Yeah. So I learned these things through those obstacles.
That makes a lot of sense. So much comes from when we go through fear, but we don't go through it.
Mm,
And then we just sit back. So I love that. That's amazing. So this one's big for me, né? So I'm
mm.
currently, the word is not, I don't use unemployed. I'm transitioning to a new journey. I have ideas for my own business popping up, and we all have different ideas, right? However, I have no money to fund the business, so I just wait for a job and it becomes a ripple effect. I'm waiting for the money to do my, but there's so much
Mm,
time for me to use. How do I navigate this to execute my business idea while looking for a job? And you know what's a change for me from what you said also, to half answer that question. You decided to follow the passion and your own idea, and a job actually came to you.
mm.
So, like, how would you add more on that for someone to just still hone in on doing their own business for this time instead of that easy apply on LinkedIn every day?
I guess that's a difficult, not an easy one to answer. So that boils down to you, your why.
Yeah,
So you have to ask yourself, what is my why? Why must I do this? If you have no why, then not anything I say is not going to help you. So for me, I had a son. That was my why. I needed to do this. It's for him and for me, but mostly for him. How am I going to put food on the table? How am I going to send him to school? How am I going to do all these things? So my why is my child, my children, and so that's my why. And so that's where I get my drive from. So when you know your why, you can start planning. And how do I do this thing? It comes down to the basic principles of time management and scheduling and all those other things that you can put in place. So finding your why, and then I think discipline plays a big role. And with our religion, with our culture, it's a very disciplined kind of culture. We have to do certain things, we have to do it in a certain way, and so
Yes.
we're raised with that kind of values of discipline. Again, it's weird to say this, like I only realize these things that like now as I'm much older, that the way we grew up, how it affected us, or
Yes.
how it affected me, and I can see it now that the culture of being disciplined, it kind of helped me. So I'm. It's not easy to be disciplined, but I can be disciplined, and
Mm.
so discipline helps me with time management in scheduling. Saying okay, every second day from 5 till 8 o'clock, I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna study. I'm gonna learn from
Yes.
4 till 7. I'm gonna pick up my son. Maybe it's soccer practice, whatever. In the morning, I have time, and then I can go out and, for example, look for work, go on LinkedIn, and for the afternoon, I'm gonna create content. So that is just the thing. Having that time and having that discipline to pull it all together. I think that is the most important thing for me. Yeah, and then just another one on the fear. I'm just thinking of something that I read once on the overcoming the fear. You mentioned the fear. So the fear, so you kind of applying for work all the time, and you're getting rejected, and the fear of failure. And yeah, so one of the things, like I said, I'm not that fearful, but one of the things that I am fearful of is the fear of failure. So
Mm.
I fear of failing, and I will go to the moon and back, and to the sun and back, and the sun I'm gonna burn there. But like I don't care, I need to go there
Yeah.
because I can't fail. And so that kind of is a big thing for me, and that I had to overcome. But just on, like, in general, people applying for work, fear of failure and rejection. So there's a cool thing, they call it the coffee challenge. So the coffee challenge is the next time you go to the coffee shop, for example, Starbucks, whatever, wherever you go buy your coffee. So now you order your coffee, and the guy says, okay, it's 30 Rand. So the coffee challenge is you ask him, okay, can I get a discount? Can I get it for 20 Rand? And the guy obviously will be like, what? Like,
It's
who
gonna
asks
be
for
the
the
price.
discount on a coffee? That's ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous thing that guy is gonna hear. And then and then he's like, "Are you serious?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm serious." And he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go ask my manager." You go ask his manager. The manager comes. He's like, "I can help you." He's like, "Can I have a discount on this coffee? Can I get it for 20 Rand?" It's 30 Rand. Can I get it for 20 Rand? He's gonna say, "No, you're not. It's 30 Rand. You take it or leave it." And then you pay for your coffee, the 30 Rand, and you walk out. But what did you learn? You learn to ask. And
Yes.
yes, you might get rejected, but you're overcoming that fear of being rejected. You're
Yes.
overcoming fear, and you're overcoming rejection. So there's two
Mm.
things you're walking away out of that coffee shop. And you kind of do that every day, every second day, and you build up that strength to overcome fear and rejection, just to tap back into that question of fear and
Wow.
rejection.
I've actually never heard that, and what I'm going to do to be part of this is I'm
It
going to
can be a
do
coffee
that.
challenge, it can be anything for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that actually, and this is such a good time to do it. When you're transitioning, I'm gonna do it and record it and share it with everybody so they can you
That's
can
that
show
that's
that.
even better. Yeah, that's even better. Record the whole thing.
Yeah.
The surprise on the guy's face that side, and then yourself also like, I did it.
And the manager, that's brilliant. I love that challenge. And like you're saying, you can do it with anything. And while you were telling the
Yeah,
story, my whole being was like, how would I ask for the coffee that price is up there
yeah,
to be 10 Rand less?
yeah. There's a lot in that small little exchange. There's a lot of lessons. How am I going to do this? How am I going to ask this? What do I say? What if he says no? What if he says yes?
Yeah. Wow. And just absorbing that because it's so brilliant. And you teaching, you also showing us that we can teach ourselves rejection instead of waiting to be rejected by the jobs or outside people. This is us taking ownership of that fear of rejection, and I know everyone has it. And then being like, okay, rejection, we're doing this together. Let me just
Let's go.
let me just get you like strong now. So that's wow, that's actually amazing for fear. And I think also what happens is with these questions that I'm coming across and I'm asking, and we think when we're not working, There isn't one answer to that question. There isn't like a, I'm unemployed, what do I do? Okay, go to LinkedIn. It's like navigate yourself around what passion you have, what you feel, and how capable you are. And the moment you feel like you're not capable and you hit a rock wall, like the coffee challenge, find a way to get over that wall because there's
Yeah,
something behind that wall that you're supposed to
yeah,
grab.
yeah, yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah. And I think so. For me, creating videos, putting the videos out there, using social media, using that feedback loop, using that instant feedback loop, whether it's good or bad, what I'm doing, is it good or bad? Is it rubbish? People's going to tell me immediately. Um, Maybe an idea for you that recording that content,
yeah,
but also kind of giving an introduction. So, like, run a campaign sort of thing. So, the same thing I did with the videos,
yes.
telling the stories, you run the same campaign. And your thing is, I'm trying to find work. These are
Mm,
my fears. This is how I overcome it. And I want to take you on a journey. So now you build. Everybody who's interested will start coming to your feed, and they were all interested. They want to see what you're going to do.
yeah,
And so when you go out, you say, okay, this is day one of the coffee challenge. I'm going to face fear and rejection. Boom. Then you go. Then you do your thing. And then you walk out with your coffee in your hand and you say, didn't work. Done. So every day or every time you go out and you do the coffee challenge, you shoot it like that in a way as a campaign. Day one, day two, the goal or the North Star is to get a job.
mm,
Okay. And this is just that journey to get the job. So I bring this up because it's content for you, and content means exposure. And exposure,
mm,
people's going to find more, people's going to know you, people's going to find out. So I bring it to you because my son just did something very similar this past month. Okay. Just before Ramadan. Yeah. So my son plays rugby, and we were driving to school one day, and he said, "Yo, Dad, you know what I'm gonna do? Because he kicks. He's a kicker, and he can kick quite good. So he can kick from the halfway line. This is one of them, creating content. So another way is just to create a campaign. Day one, day two, day three, and the coffee challenge is the campaign. How you
yeah,
overcoming that fear on your road to getting a job. So we all know that that's what you're doing. So what my son did was, he said, while we're driving to school one day, he said, "Dad, I want to make a video of me kicking, kicking the ball over the poles, and I don't know, yeah, I just want to create that video, and maybe somebody sees it, and maybe I can get a sponsor. Maybe someone's gonna sponsor me, like Adidas or something." And I'm like, okay, to get a sponsor, it's a whole other story because you need a following, you need to be a professional, you need to be lots of things. Brand is only gonna come to you if you have something to give to them.
yeah.
And you and I still have a small following, and you don't play like provincial or anything, so it's going to be a tough thing to get. But instead, why don't we try and get you a training session with one of the Stormers kickers? I think that's more doable. So he said, okay, let's do it. So I said, okay, this is what you do. Every day you're gonna go, when you go to practice, you're gonna record, but you're gonna record multiple videos. But that multiple videos is gonna be multiple pieces of content. So you're gonna go there, you're gonna take a bunch of kicks, ask your friend to record it, and then you record a few intros. So, hi, this is me. I'm so and so. This is day one of my challenge, and I'm trying to get hold of. And he used Mani, Lebok, and Sasha, which are the two Stormers players that kick.
Okay.
Uh, I'm trying to get hold of Sasha and Mani's attention. Please like this video and let's share it, and maybe they will see it. 2 days, Sasha sees the video.
They
Three, four
do.
days, day two, Sasha sees the video. 4 days, Mani sees the video. Both of them, they saw the video. The video went viral, like 50K views, 60K views, and he has a small following of 1,000, 1,500. And it went, and people started commenting, and he's like, tag Mani, tag Sasha, and people's tagging, and the comments is going, this happened now this past month, and the comments is going wild, and the views and everything. Day three, and he keeps going. Day four, day five, same thing over and over. Different kicking, like for you, different coffee shops, whatever it is. Yeah, and then someone says, "Look, I've got the number. This is the Stormers coach. Here's his number. Message him." He gets the number of the Stormers coach. He messaged this like last week. He messaged the coach, "Hey." this is me, this is what I'm doing. I want to get a training session. The coach says, okay, what is your goal? He's like, I just want to learn. I don't have nobody that ever coached me. I can kick from 55 meters, but nobody's coached me. It would be cool to get someone to coach me, and maybe Mani or Sasha. And then the coach says, okay, send me a video. He makes another video, he sends it. He's like, okay, Mani is too busy, with
Yeah.
Springboks, adverts, all the stuff is he's too busy. Sasha is injured, but when he's done with his injury, maybe. Okay, next day he gets a DM from Sasha, the Stormers kicker. He says, "Hey, dude, I like what you're doing. I saw your campaign from the beginning, and you're still going. Good that you're going. I'm injured for the next 3 weeks, but when I'm done, then we will do this thing." So, yeah,
What?
make something out of nothing.
What? That was absolutely nothing that he made. That just happened.
Yeah, now the last 4 or so weeks.
Wow. That is so phenomenal.
Yeah, so you can take the same concept, make a campaign. You're looking for a job. That's the campaign. That's a good enough campaign. Why? Yeah, and you run with it, and you're doing something interesting, which is the coffee challenge. You can turn it up whatever it is you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that because I think you also, the fact that you're sharing the age of your son and then you and I seem similar ages, there isn't like a standard age where you know enough to do something. It can happen forever. I was reading an article of a 60-year-old woman who was working in retail forever and she then decided she wanted to be a doctor. And normally your mind is like, lady, you like done, aren't you?
Yeah.
Aren't you done? But it just and coupled with your son's story, there's so much we can reach at any time. And in our religion, we also believe that God has a plan. We plan, but He has a better plan. And sometimes you get these intuition feelings, just like this video that we're doing now. I thought to myself, I'm transitioning into another job, but I'm seeking advice. Other people are seeking advice. Why not share that? And so then this collaboration came about. So that's what's really amazing for me. I think for me also with your son's story is people were reposting and posting and eventually just had to take that risk. In between that story, you hear that can you give me the coffee for 20 Rand action with everybody. So it just expands that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Yeah, you take the
amazing.
concept and you run with it. Yeah.
I'm really glad with that. I'm definitely gonna do this challenge because my goal with everything is I am currently unemployed and I want other people to share that journey and also be helped on that. My last question for you sort of is, and you answered how do you overcome the fears? In one
Mm.
of your posts, you say, and this really grabbed me. People say it's hard. It's something that people say it's hard to do your passion, but you are like you living your passion. Because everyone's like you have to put your passions aside. And then other people say
Mm.
don't follow your passion. There's so many different videos because
Mm.
that can't make you money, right? How
Yeah.
do we even know what our passion is and to pursue that?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a nice question. Because a lot of people, they don't find their passion. They
Yes.
don't they, they don't know what it is that they're passionate about.
Mm.
And so for me, the main thing is you have to go out there and try different things. Obviously, the way we grow up with our culture, with our religion, there's certain things that we were told, don't do this, do this. Like you're saying, don't follow your passion. It's not going to bring you money and all this stuff. So I
Yeah.
was in IT, and I
Yeah.
will say that it was good money. And if I stayed in that, I would have, I don't know where I would have been right now. Because the people that I worked with are all in Europe, working for Amazon, working with good
Yeah.
titles. So I see them on LinkedIn, and I'm like, oh, that could have been me. But it's fine. I'm happy. I'm where I am. I'm happy what I got, and this is how it was supposed to be. And yeah, so and then you look at the people that has all that, the nice car and all those things, but how happy are they? Can they
Mm.
get up in the morning and say, "Oh man, I can't wait to get to work"? Do they find, what's the word, pleasure, or
Yeah. like
in the job.
happy feeling within it.
Yeah. Does it add value to other people's life? Do they get meaningful? Do they feel good at the end of the day? I did good for someone. Like now, we're having this chat. Like I'm gonna walk away feeling like, yeah, she came to interview me, but I gave her something to walk away with. So
Yes.
I helped somebody.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
And not just one body, you've helped so many other people because we came together with the interview and I'm just used to 9 to 5 and okay, it's hospitality, so 9 to 9. And
Mm,
moving on and having a full day, but I'm actually getting the opportunity to speak to you and connect to show that there's so much more to do. Because I don't know if you see those quotes that say some of us are alive, but we're not living.
mm,
And when you're pursuing your passion, you often you living. But when we just have a job or we're pursuing money or we're pursuing worldly things constantly, you lose that connection for yourself and your passion. So what is there? And I think that's
mm,
what's important for me in this period of unemployment is seeing that there's a lot that each of us can offer, but we can't offer the same because we made differently.
mm.
And I hope
Yeah.
my offering of sharing my unemployment journey will, even if it just helps one person, will be good enough for me. Because when I was searching for content, you helped me realize, hey, I do have a lot of time to be while I'm unemployed. Why don't I do something? And there's more
Mm,
people that you help, but I'm showcasing me being the one person now helping more other persons.
mm.
So I
Yeah.
think that's where passion lies. What can you do to help someone to help themselves?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you can't find your passion, just go out and help people.
Mm,
Do something good. And while you're doing that, you maybe figure out what that passion is. You
yeah,
know, while you're doing good, maybe that passion comes creeping, and you figure out, hey, I like looking after children, or I like looking after dogs, or old people. So you end up in the old age home reading to lonely grandparents, or you know what I'm saying. You don't
yeah,
know where it's gonna take you,
yes.
but you must take the road. Otherwise, you don't find out. Or you get up in the morning, you do a 9 to 5, you go to bed, and it's fine, but it's not gonna take you on that road. So you have to take a different road. And yeah, the road might go there, but eventually you come back onto that path that you're on. And you take maybe a different road tomorrow, and yeah.
Mm. I think what you're saying is so important for me and everyone to understand because it was always like in my career a uniform, like I'm just going this way. It can only,
Mm,
if I ever stepped out, I was like, no, 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 this way.
yeah,
And when we sort of not given a choice, we have to like the road
yeah,
is up, downside,
you
vertical,
must go.
you everywhere, but it actually is so much more liberating and so much more fun. And eventually the fear
Mm,
becomes like like for you, your fear is exciting. For me now,
mm,
month 2, moving into month 3, the fear is I'm starting to see that beyond the fears is something exciting.
mm, yeah, yeah,
So I think it's also just a big journey of discovery for yourself and then the sharing with others because it becomes more liberating with sharing with others and seeing, oh wow, we have a similar story. So I think
mm.
that's amazing. I was gonna end off now by saying, please give us final words of advice, but I feel like there's so much advice content within what you said that when I look at the recording and we're both editing, we'll see how it just worked together. But is there any final words you want to share with me and everyone else?
Yeah, it's a quick one. It's also a quote, just to fail fast and fail often.
Wow, I
Yeah.
love it.
I mean, it speaks for itself.
I
So
love
go
it.
out there, try something. It might fail. That's fine. Okay, next thing. Go out there. It might fail. That's fine. It all ties in with the coffee challenge, with the campaign, looking for a job, dejection, all ties in. Just go, fail, and try again. So with content creation, I'm gonna create a video. Might not work. Okay, tomorrow I'll try a different one.
Mm,
In anything you're doing. Yeah.
wow. Wow, that is, yeah, for me, that's the biggest one because I used to love the safe zone. So the fight that I love that. Thank you so much. Shukran so much for everything. Shukran for joining me. I make an intention that everybody who needs this, everybody that can benefit it, can reach it. We can share more. I know this is going to grow more, so I'll definitely have you on and we'll interact much more. But I just want to say thank you and start with your journey. May it be a great one. May you reach more people because, as I said, this is happening because I read your story of unemployed for 5 months. So, basically for me, I'm happy to have done this and I enjoyed it. Shukran so much. So to everybody else, thank you for watching and we will be back. Please follow Shifaan Ryklief, follow Najiba Adams on LinkedIn so that we can help you help yourself. And that's my biggest quote. Shukran.
Cool, man. Shukran.